those capture points are directly tied to new healing zones, and they have a huge impact on the battlefield as well. I'm sure Axel is free to talk about Puppy Factory possibilities that come together with that new feature.
Yeah, as we've said, the victory conditions have changed from annihilation being a main way to win the game, because there's now healing and even respawning of your units once they're depleted or completely destroyed. There's replenishment and respawn zones basically next to every flag. You just have to control it, and then next to your own base. The replenishment is about 10 seconds, and you only have to have one model left in a unit, and it'll heal up to full HP, full models. And the only thing that you can't have with that is you can't be engaged in combat and still heal. So sadly, that means we don't get puppy factories as good as we could, but you can still be sitting in there and send out your dogs if you wanted to, and then when they die, you can respawn them all. And the respawn, I believe, since we didn't die enough to find out exactly, and we can't remember, it was about 30 seconds, and you come back at full health to one of the healing zones, and you get to choose which one you want to go to. It's just, I mean, it's really changed the game completely, because now if you die, you just get to come back. You aren't done for the whole game. It kind of lessens the impact of killing a person's unit. All you do is gain some time, and it introduces some balance issues that will be talked about later, and makes some units a bit stronger than they were before. But that's all I have about that.
Mm-hmm. So I think it's what you described is quite tightly tied to the capture points, and that by capturing a capture point, you also unlock and deny a heal zone. And you mentioned that we gained some time, we gained some ground by killing someone rather than eliminating them from the match. And I definitely agree with that. Although it often feels kind of like fighting a horde of zombies when during one push you end up killing one guy 3 times, just like between like the middle of watchtower, let's say, depending of whether there is one or not, all the way to the point, and it gets kind of weird and frustrating. And you feel like, I've killed that guy 2 times and I pretty much haven't achieved anything, right? And every time I kill him, my unit gets weaker, so I'll have to go all the way back to my healing zone and lose so much time, and be out of the battle, miss on the fun. People who die, right, they get to respawn pretty closely to their point they're defending. So I think that's kind of a balance issue, and it could be addressed by either putting the healing zones a little bit further away for the defenders, and maybe some better spots for the attackers, although that's kind of excludes each other. The other way is to increase the timer of death. So you mentioned it's 30 seconds. From what I've noticed, it can be anywhere between 20 and 60 seconds. And from what we observed during the testing is that depends only, I believe, on the time of the battle itself. So how far we are in the battle, the further we are, the longer the respawn. And I think I would like to change it to depending on how many units you've lost. So if you lose 2 units and you go back and heal, that also will affect your spawn timer. But if all 3 units die, you also respawn longer, and then you die again. So 6 units, even longer, 9 units, even longer, etc., etc. Another issue is that you not only replenish your troops, but you also replenish your consumables alongside them. And that, combined with the introduction of capture points, makes stakes pretty OP, like several times more OP than they were ever before. And they were already extremely OP back in the wargaming version. So I'll talk about it a little bit later in my part.